There is a silent process happening inside the veins and arteries of millions of seniors right now.
We are talking about coagulation, or blood clotting. When you cut your finger, clotting is a miracle.
It creates a mesh that stops the bleeding and begins the healing process. But when this same process happens inside your blood vessels,
Without a cut or an injury, it becomes a deadly hazard. Internal blood clots, specifically deep vein thrombosis or clots,
that form in the heart due to atrial fibrillation are the primary cause of pulmonary embolisms and ischemic strokes. These clots are like gelatinous plugs that block the flow of oxygen to your vital organs, turning the lights out in your brain.
Or stopping your heart in an instant. For decades, modern medicine has relied on powerful anticoagulant drugs.
To manage this risk, drugs like warfarin, Xarelto, and Eliquis act as chemical hammers, stopping the clotting cascade.
But these drugs come with severe risks of internal bleeding, and they often require strict dietary restrictions
and constant monitoring. But what if nature had already provided a solution? What if there were specific compounds hidden?
Specific compounds hidden in the bark, roots, and seeds of ancient plants that could gently modulate your blood's ability to clot, keeping it thin and flowing without the harsh side effects of synthetic pharmaceuticals.
For thousands of years, traditional medical systems like Ayurveda and traditional Chinese medicine
Have used spices not just for flavor, but as potent vascular medicine. These cultures did not have blood thinners,
But they had roots that could dissolve fibrin and seeds that could relax platelets.
In this comprehensive guide, we are going to explore the ancient spices that help dissolve internal blood clots naturally.
We will explain the exact biological mechanism of how compounds like curcumin and capsaicin
Interact with your blood cells to prevent the stickiness that leads to strokes.
We will reveal the difference between Ceylon and cassia cinnamon, a distinction that can save your liver.
and we will explain why black pepper is the mandatory partner for the golden spice if you want it to work.
And stay with me until the end, because we will provide the Golden Flow Tea recipe.
A specific combination of these spices that you can brew at home to create a daily tonic.
That supports your circulation and protects your brain from the silent threat of thick blood.
Before we dive in, if you have not subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell,
so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments.
If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. Part 1. The biology of the clot.
To understand how spices can save you,
A clot is not just a blob of dried blood. It is a complex structure built by your body using two main components, platelets and fibrin. Platelets are tiny disc-shaped cells that float in your blood.
when they detect an injury or inflammation and they change shape, they grow sticky tentacles and latch onto each other,
Forming a plug. Fibrin is a protein that acts like a net. It weaves through the platelets,
binding them together into a solid mass, creating a thrombus. In a healthy body, this thrombus dissolves.
Once the injury is healed, your body produces an enzyme called plasmin that cuts the fibrin net and breaks the clot down. But in a senior with chronic inflammation, high blood sugar, or sedentary habits,
This dissolving mechanism fails. The body produces too much fibrin and not enough plasmin. The platelets become hyperactive, sticking together even when there is no wound. This leads to a state called hypercoagulability, or thick blood.
the spices we are about to discuss work by targeting these specific pathways. Some of them prevent the platelets from getting sticky. Some of them help produce plasmin to dissolve the fibrin. And some of them lower the inflammation that triggers the clotting process in the first place. They are nature's way of rebalancing the equation, keeping your blood fluid and dynamic.
Part 2. The golden thinner turmeric. The first and perhaps most powerful spice on our list is turmeric.
This bright yellow root has been the crown jewel of Indian medicine for 4,000 years. It is used to treat everything from pain to infection.
But its effects on the vascular system are profound. The active compound in turmeric is curcumin.
In multiple ways. First, it inhibits a molecule called thromboxane. Thromboxane is a signal that tells platelets to stick together. By blocking this signal, curcumin keeps platelets smooth and slippery, preventing them from clumping in your arteries.
Second, curcumin is one of the most potent natural anti-inflammatories on the planet. Inflammation is the spark that lights the fire of clotting.
When your arteries are inflamed, they swell and become rough, giving plaque and clots a place to form.
Curcumin turns off the genetic switch for inflammation, known as NF-κB, by cooling the fire in your arteries.
The triggers for clot research published in the journal BM's Clots.
The formation of clots and even help dissolve existing clots. However, there is a catch. Curcumin is poorly absorbed
by the human body. If you just eat turmeric powder, most of it passes right through you. To unlock its power, you must pair it with a bioenhancer,
which we will discuss in the protocol section later, Ness. For a senior worrying about stroke, adding turmeric to your diet is
On the inside of your blood vessels, if turmeric is the shield, cayenne pepper is the sword.
Cayenne pepper gets its heat from a compound called capsaicin. But capsaicin does more than just burn your tongue.
It burns through blood clots. Capsaicin is a powerful fibrinolytic agent. This means it physically breaks down fibrin, the protein mesh that holds clots together. When you consume cayenne pepper, it triggers the release of tissue plasminogen activator, TPA.
TPA is the exact same substance that doctors inject into stroke patients in the emergency room to dissolve a clot.
But cayenne helps your body produce it naturally in smaller, safe doses. This keeps your blood thin
and prevents the fibrin net from becoming too thick or stable. But cayenne has another benefit. It expands the blood vessels. When capsaicin hits your system, it stimulates the release of nitric oxide, specifically in the peripheral arteries.
This causes vasodilation. The arteries widen, the pressure drops, and blood flows more freely.
This improved flow prevents stasis or pooling of blood. Stagnant blood is the primary cause of deep vein thrombosis in the legs. By keeping the blood moving and keeping the vessels wide, cayenne acts as a circulatory stimulant, ensuring that oxygen reaches your toes and your brain flare. Many herbalists recommend keeping a tincture of cayenne pepper in the medicine cabinet as an emergency aid.
For heart issues, although you should always call 911 first. For daily prevention, adding a pinch of cayenne
to your food or taking a capsule can keep your fibrin levels in check. Part 4. The platelet relaxer, ginger.
Ginger is the cousin of turmeric, and it shares many of its vascular benefits. Ginger contains compounds called gingerols
and shogunols, specifically in fresh and dried ginger, respectively. These compounds act essentially as a natural aspirin. Aspirin works by blocking an enzyme called COX, which produces the sticky signals for platelets. Ginger inhibits this same enzyme,
but it does so more gently. A study conducted in Australia compared the effects of ginger to aspirin.
Ginger effectively reduced platelet aggregation without damaging the stomach lining. This is critical for seniors.
Aspirin is famous for causing gastric ulcers and stomach bleeding. Ginger, on the other hand, is a stomach soother.
It is used to treat nausea and digestion. So by using ginger, you get the blood-thinning benefit while actually healing your gut.
In traditional Chinese medicine, ginger is used to dispel cold and dampness. Cold constricts blood vessels, while heat expands them,
making it excellent for seniors who suffer from cold hands and feet due to poor blood flow. Whether you grate it fresh into tea, cinnamon is a spice we often associate with sugar and desserts, but medically, it is a potent vascular aid.
Cinnamon contains a compound called cinnamaldehyde, which gives it its flavor and smell.
Coumarin is the substance from which the drug warfarin was originally derived. It is a powerful blood thinner.
However, this brings us to a critical safety distinction. There are two main types of cinnamon, cassia and Ceylon.
Cassia cinnamon is the cheap dark brown bark you find in most grocery stores. It is very high in coumarin, and the blood sugar benefit is vital. High blood sugar causes glycation, where sugar binds to proteins in the blood, making the blood sticky and thick.
Cinnamon is one of the best natural substances for lowering blood sugar and improving insulin sensitivity by keeping your blood sugar stable.
Cinnamon prevents the blood from turning into syrup, reducing the risk of clots forming due to viscosity. Part 6.
No list of heart health spices would be complete without garlic. Garlic is not technically a spice, it is a bulb.
But it is used as a spice in almost every cuisine. The magic of garlic happens when you crush it.
When you crush a clove of garlic, you break the cell walls and release an enzyme called alliinase.
Allicin is a sulfur compound responsible for the smell and the medicine of garlic. Allicin works directly on the blood vessels to reduce stiffness.
As we age, our arteries harden, becoming like rigid pipes. Garlic helps keep them elastic, but more importantly,
However, there is a trick to using garlic effectively. It is unstable. You must use the 10-minute rule. Crush the garlic and let it sit away from heat for 10 minutes. This allows the alliinase to do its work.
Eating raw garlic is even more potent, but it can be hard on the stomach for some seniors like.
That has removed the smell, but concentrated the vascular benefits. Part 7. The mood and blood stabilizer, saffron.
Saffron is the most expensive spice in the world, derived from the stigmas of the crocus flower.
Saffron contains crocin and safranal. These compounds have been shown to lower cholesterol and prevent the oxidation of lipids. But saffron has a unique benefit for stroke prevention. It lowers stress. Chronic stress raises cortisol, preventing the spikes that can rupture a vessel. Part 8. The Golden Flow Tea Protocol.
We have discussed the individual spices. Now let us combine them into a daily ritual.
Or coconut milk. The fat in the milk is necessary to absorb the curcumin. 1/2 teaspoon of high-quality turmeric. A pinch of cayenne pepper. Start small and increase as you tolerate the heat. A pinch of Ceylon cinnamon. And crucially, a pinch of black pepper. Black pepper contains piperine. Piperine inhibits the liver from breaking down curcumin.
Simmer these ingredients gently for 5 minutes. Do not boil vigorously, just warm it through. Strain into a mug and add a little honey if needed.
Drink this golden milk once a day, preferably in the evening. It warms the body, reduces inflammation.
Part 9. The interaction warning. We must pause here for a critical medical warning, because these spices are effective blood thinners.
They interact with prescription medications. If you are currently taking warfarin, Eliquis, or aspirin, you must be extremely careful combining high doses.
Doses can make your blood too thin. Part 10. The lifestyle context. Hydration and movement. Spices are powerful tools.
You must hydrate. Water is the solvent of the blood. If you are dehydrated, your blood volume drops and it becomes thick sludge.
And you must move. The calf muscles in your legs are your second heart. When you walk, they squeeze the veins and pump blood back up.
Open your spice cabinet and realize that you are looking at a pharmacy. Thank you for watching and take care of yourself.